guys, it's Lucy, and today I'm here to do a book haul. If you haven't noticed, I haven't done a book haul so far this year because technically I'm on a book buying ban-ish kind of thing. I'm on a book buying limit, I guess, where in the beginning of the year I decided I was only going to buy one book for every 3 books I read, and this went for ebooks and audiobooks, but separately. So for every 3 physical books I read, I could buy 1 physical book, and for every 3 ebooks I read, I could buy 1 ebook. So this has caused me to accumulate somewhat less books, I hope. However, I've definitely still accumulated too many. Normally, I don't include ebooks in my book hauls, but for the sake of the fact that I'm doing this challenge, I guess, that I am going to include them, and I'm going to tell you where I'm at with it. This is my kind of bullet journal spread about it, if you can see that. I also have not counted arcs when I'm doing this. I don't know if that was a mistake or not, because I definitely have accumulated too many arcs, but I won't be talking about those in this video. And before I forget, please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my face. And without further ado, here are the books that I have acquired since January. So first we have Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. I got this from a used bookstore somewhere. I don't remember where. It is a historical fiction, I know, and it is about a woman who I guess is charged with 2 murders. She's sent to an isolated farm in northern Iceland to await execution for killing these men, and I think it's kind of like finding out why she did it or if she did it, and like this family gets caught up in it somehow. First ebook I bought was Dear Martin by Nick Stone. This is about a kid who gets, I guess, arrested, I'm not sure, by cops even though he wasn't doing anything wrong, and he's like living the appropriate life. Like he's like valedictorian at his school, he gets great grades, he's on his way to like an Ivy League or something similar, and like he doesn't do anything wrong, but he gets racially profiled by a cop. As you can hear the police sirens outside, hope you enjoy that. Really adds some effect. But he gets racially profiled by a police officer, and he's trying to come to terms with why that happened. So he starts writing letters to Martin Luther King Jr., and it's about him and his life. I've heard a lot of great things about it. It's a quick, hard-hitting read, I've heard. I haven't read it yet, but I bought it. Also, just a side note, if I sound weird, I do have a cold in the middle of summer. It's really great. So let's get my Book of the Month books out of the way. First we have Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert. I have heard really good things about this book. As far as I know, it's about a girl who comes home from boarding school and she wants to stay to support her brother who is diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and somehow they both end up falling for the same girl. So the main character, whose name is Suzette, is bisexual. So we have that LGBTQ rep in here, and yeah, I've heard good things about it. And my second and last Book of the Month book that I have is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. Yeah, this is my last Book of the Month book because I have stopped getting them, and stopping getting them has left me with like a bad taste in my mouth, so I've also stopped recommending them. But this book is about a girl who is half Taiwanese and half white, or I think she's half Taiwanese. It says half Asian, but her grandparents live in Taiwan. But her mother ends up dying by suicide, and so she goes to Taiwan to stay with her grandparents for a bit, and she thinks that her mom has turned into a bird, and that has something to do with her going to Taiwan. This is clearly a great synopsis, but I've heard nothing but wonderful things about this book. Next we have an arc, and that is Auntie Polly and the Sicilian Lions by Mario Giordano. I got this book from Bookish First in exchange for an honest review, and I DNF'd it 80 pages in. This is just not my type of book. It's like a murder mystery, like a cozy murder mystery, I guess. It's about Auntie Polly, and she's like an eccentric, like older woman, and her gardener, I think, gets murdered, and she's trying to find out what happened and how that happened. You Can't Touch My Hair by Phoebe Robinson. This is her memoir/essay collection about race, gender, and a bunch of other stuff. And yeah, Phoebe Robinson is apparently a stand-up comedian. I have never heard of her before this book, so I don't know. But yeah, it looked like a fun read, and I decided I wanted to read it. Next, we have the 2 books that I got when I went to some book signings. I did a whole vlog kind of video about it, so if you're interested, it'll be linked in the cards and in the description box. But the first book that I got was Save the Date by Morgan Matson. This is Morgan Matson's latest book. It's about a girl named Charlie who's from a large family, and they all get together because one of her sisters is getting married. It's kind of like a rom-com kind of thing where everything that goes wrong with a wedding kind of goes wrong. That's what I've heard anyway. And yeah, all of the first editions of this book are signed, so this is the original signature. And then this is what Morgan Matson did when I went to the book signing. And I now own all of Morgan Matson's books, but I haven't read all of them. And the second book that I got during that vlog, but not at the same signing obviously, was The Bells by Danielle Clayton. It was long overdue for me to get this book. It was one of my most highly anticipated books of the year, and it took me so long to get it and also to read it because I haven't read it yet. I started it when I was at the book signing, but I put it down so that I could read the books that were actually on my DVR for the month. This is a fantasy book set in a world where everyone is born gray except for the Bells. And they put color and add beauty to everyone, and that's their role and job. So the Bells are highly revered because without them everyone would be gray, and beauty is kind of taken on an even more drastic thing than it is in our society, because not only do you change your hairstyle and whatever, but you can change your skin color, your eye color, your hair texture, and all of that. So yeah, it's about this, and we follow one of the Bells who wants to be the main Belle, for the queen and stuff. And when she gets to court, she finds out that not everything is as she thought it was. Another ebook I bought really on a whim was Coffee Will Make You Black by April Sinclair. I have no idea what this is about actually. I just thought the title was funny, and I got a Goodreads book deal, or maybe a Book Riot book deal on it, and so I just bought it. It was $1.99. Next we have an arc, and this is The Furyborn Arc by Claire Legrand. This is book 1 in the Imperium trilogy. I'm sure you've heard of this. It's going all over BookTube. I already read this. It's in my May wrap-up, June wrap-up, one of those. Basically this is about 2 women who are centuries apart, actually a millennia to be exact, right? A millennia is 1,000 years. They're 1,000 years apart, and one of them is in the past, and she has the power to wield all the elements, and there's a prophecy that says if you can do that, you must be either the Sun Queen or the Blood Queen, so she has to go through trials to prove that she is the Sun Queen. And then in the future, we follow another girl / woman who's a heavily feared bounty hunter. The next book that I got was also from Bookish First, but this is a finished copy, and it is Picture Us in the Light by Kelly Loy Gilbert, I don't know how to say her last name. This was one of my favorite books of June, one of my favorite books of the year. I really love this book. This is about a Chinese American boy named Danny who loves art, and because of that love, he gets a scholarship to the Rhode Island School of Design, which is his dream school, and he's all set. But he has to think about the fact that his best friend Harry is not going to be coming with him, and they'll be separated for the first time. And in addition to that, he's dealing with going to college at all, and his last year of high school, and his high school has some other stuff going on, as well as he finds some letters in his house that make him realize his parents are hiding a big thing from him. So he's dealing kind of with all of this, and we just follow him through the year. That's really not a great synopsis, but there's a lot going on in here, so I don't really know how to explain it. But Danny is queer. There's no label given to him, but he's clearly in love with his male best friend, so it has that representation going for it. Most of the characters in this book are Asian American. It's just such a really good book. I will talk about it more in my wrap-up, or I have talked about it more in my wrap-up. Don't know when this video is going up, but yeah, definitely recommend getting this. And the last ebook that I got was Feminist Fight Club. I forgot who wrote this book, but I have it supposed to be a sort of guide for women who are entering the workplace and dealing with sexism in the workplace. And since I am going to be entering the workplace and I'm a woman, I thought I would read it. I've heard mixed things about it, that it's not as intersectional as it could be, but I still wanted to give it a shot. And the last physical book that I bought, and the last book of this haul, is Obsidio by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. This is the third book in the Illuminate files. I have already read this. I did not do a full video review of this book, but I did do full video reviews of the first two books. I'll leave my wrap-up where I talked about this book down below, but I just didn't have a lot to say, so I didn't do a full video review, but I enjoyed it. Since this is the third book, I can't really give you a synopsis, and if you want a synopsis of the first book, I'll lead you to that video because I'm lazy. I enjoyed this. It was a good conclusion. So that's the end of this book haul. It's not as big as like a lot of book hauls I've seen, especially considering that this is about over 6 months. Right? What month is it? 7 months, because it's July. To go back to my book buying budget, the way I do it is basically I add 1 credit to myself for every book that I read, and I subtract 3 for every book that I buy. And so for physical books, I'm at -3 credits because I bought the bells, and I have -10 ebooks. So in order to balance myself out, I will have to read 3 physical books and 10 ebooks that I already owned. This again does not include ARCs. So the physical and NetGalley ARCs that I get, they don't count, which is a mistake and a blessing. It's a blessing because my ebook count would be off the charts like crazy if I counted all the NetGalley ARCs that I get, but I'm still acquiring those books. So I don't know if I should be counting them. I've decided not to. Maybe if I do this again next year I will. Or maybe I'll just get less ARCs. That would be the ideal solution, but we'll see. And yeah, so those are all the books that I have to talk to you guys about today. If you've read any of these books, or if you have also recently acquired them, please be sure to leave a comment down below. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make more videos where I talk about books. And also hit the bell button, notification bell, that's what it's called, if you want to be notified about every other time that I post videos. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!